Alright, we should be recording now, so let's do this.
I am recording!
Now recording.
Hello everyone! It is me, your Overlord Emperor Techno, and this is the first episode of Imperial Transmissions, and this is a little podcast that I decided to start for seemingly no reason. And in today's episode, we are joined by our dear friends Kerensky de Chevalier. Say hello to everyone.
What's up, guys? General Shitposter of Techno's Empire here.
And longtime old friend Le Frenchman.
Bonjour.
Alright. So, for our first episode, we will be talking about skinwalkers. So, for some of you viewers who may not know what skinwalkers are, in Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The term is never used for healers. Animals associated with witchcraft usually include tricksters such as the coyote, but can include other creatures, usually those associated with death or bad omens. Skinwalker stories told among Navajo children may be complete life and death struggles that end in either skinwalker or Navajo people killing each other, or partial encounter stories that end in a stalemate. Encounter stories may be composed as Navajo victory stories, with skinwalkers approaching a hogan and being scared away. Non-native interpretations of skinwalker stories typically take the form of partial encounter stories on the road, where the protagonist is temporarily vulnerable but then escapes from the skinwalker in a way not traditionally seen in Navajo stories that take place away from home. Sometimes Navajo children take European folk stories and substitute skinwalkers for generic killers such as the Hook. That was all from Wikipedia, so I don't know how reliable that is. So, let's talk about skinwalkers.
So you say that their skin or that their foes are Hogans or Bogans?
Hogans.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I can see what that is really quick. Alright,
that's cool.
A hogan is the primary traditional dwelling place of the Navajo people.
Oh, okay. So
other
a house.
traditional, yes, like a house.
Yeah.
Other traditional structures include a summer shelter, an underground home, and the sweat house. A hogan can be round, cone-shaped, multi-sided, or square, with or without internal posts, timber, or stone walls, and packed with earth in varying amongst
so it's
or a
like
bark.
their weird tent things.
Yeah, so it's like a small little building that's a mix between a tent and a log cabin.
Okay.
So, just out of curiosity, if you were camping out in an area where you knew there were skinwalkers, would you feel safer being in a tent, a log cabin, or a hogan?
A Hogan, of course. Yeah.
But it's basically like a smaller log cabin that's tent-sized.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay. Well, I don't really like. Would I have any weapons with me?
Only if you want to bring weapons with you.
Okay. In a Hogan or a hut or whatever.
Yeah.
The walls are usually solid.
Mhm.
Fair. Sorry, my internet fucked up for a minute. It's very hot here, so the Wi-Fi box router thing overheats.
No, that's all right.
So, yeah, like I was saying, the walls are usually solid, so you basically have only one area where you have to defend, one area to look out for. But
Yeah.
in a tent, you're pretty vulnerable.
Well, I mean, all they'd have to do is just like rip a hole in the tent, and you're
Yeah.
pretty much done for by that point.
Yeah.
What else? They also said that Hogans can be underground.
Underground? Oh, like in
Yeah.
caverns?
Wasn't
Caves?
there like
Yeah.
one Native American civilization that did make their Hogan caves in these big cities?
But yeah, so now aside from skinwalkers, we have to worry about cave dwellers.
Fuck up now. Cave skinwalkers.
or Hogan's kind of like hags.
No, it's not like a hag, it's a building, from what it said.
Oh shit! Wait, no, I meant a skinwalker.
Oh, yeah,
are they kind of like hags?
Skinwalkers are Native American shamans who have used their powers for evil. And to become a skinwalker, according to legend, you have to kill off all the members of your family aside from being a shaman.
Damn.
And afterwards, you're somehow granted the ability to shapeshift on the condition that you have the skin of the animal that you want to shapeshift into. So commonly, skinwalkers can take the forms of coyotes, wolves, dogs, foxes, or any canine-related creature, since they're pretty easy to hunt out there.
I personally, I would shapeshift as another human.
Well, that would be...
That can work.
Okay, well, if you wanted to shapeshift as a human, that wouldn't make you a skinwalker. That would make you a fleshgate.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, see here.
It was pretty deep.
Yeah, actually, there is a difference. One of the things that I do want to put out there, just for everyone to know, because I know that there is a lot of confusion surrounding this, is that when I look at a lot of /X stories or just stuff about cryptids, I see people grouping skinwalkers, wendigos, fleshgates, goatmen, the rake, and stuff like that. Like, they just group them all into one category and just label them as skinwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, like, they're all different individual creatures.
Distinct.
Yeah. Like they have similarities, but like each one is kind of like uniquely different. So think of it as like subspecies of the same thing in a way. Like let's take frogs for example. Like a frog is a frog, but there are different types of frogs.
Yeah, they're toads, which are the same thing, but yeah, they're pretty similar.
Yeah, or poison dart ones, but you know, that's the interesting thing about frogs. You see like this little adorable one, and it has like poison in it that could kill hundreds of people. Then you see like this gross warty one, and it turns out it's actually like harmless and peaceful.
Well, no, they're kind of harmful. Like if you bite into them or eat them, they can kill you.
Well, they're only harmful if you try to eat flies, and you happen to be a fly.
My cat bit into a toad, and yeah, he started salivating a lot. Then my mom cleaned its mouth and stuff, and yeah, it's doing good now.
Oh, sorry to hear
It can be
about
pretty
that.
bad.
Well, I'm glad your cat is all right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to skinwalkers. So, time I explain the difference between all of these. So I just explained what a skinwalker is. Wendigos are, they're not really physical beings. They are more like spirits.
They're a lot more spiritual.
And
Yeah.
they bore people.
Yeah.
And they bore.
Wendigos are cannibalistic spirits that possess people and drive them to the brink of cannibalism because they have this. I don't know why, but for some reason, Wendigos just have this unquenchable lust for meat that is never satisfied. So they will try to possess a person and use them to satisfy their meat lust, I guess I could say.
I put a whole lot of meat in my pants.
Oh no.
Feed it to the Wendigos.
Oh no. Well, anyways.
Thanks again for inviting me.
Oh god. This is what I've created. Anyways. So, the longer you are possessed by a Wendigo, it will start to change the appearance of your body. Your limbs will become elongated. You will probably get taller. You will become very gaunt and anorexic. Your skin will turn pale. And depending on the conditions, you will start to gain more animalistic features, such as horns or taking on the appearance of a kind of like a zombified deer, elk, or moose of some sort.
Like an emo that's becoming a furry.
Oh god.
Yes. Wendigos are emos that are becoming furries.
Confirmed.
First though.
Fucking undead cat girls.
Yeah.
Kill the fire.
That I could get behind, maybe.
Shoot in the face with a shotgun.
Oh no. Okay, flesh gates.
Yes.
Flesh gates are kind of similar to skinwalkers, but what makes flesh gates different is that flesh gates are not human. They are a completely different being or creature in origin that is still unknown.
Yeah.
That have the ability to shapeshift by wearing, the skin of whatever, so they can shapeshift into animals and whatnot. But the thing that makes skinwalkers and fleshgates different isn't just, the whole species part, but fleshgates are able to wear the skin of a human being, and they're able to take the complete form of that person.
Damn, that's freaky.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, fleshgates, while they are able to take on the appearance of a human, they do not have a good knowledge of how humans act or think. So usually it's easy to spot one out because they'll act like confused or odd, or you'll just notice that something is out of sorts.
That's why in most stories that you hear about them, if the fleshgate takes the form of someone, other people around that person who was taken over by the fleshgate notice they only eat meat, they don't quite understand our language, and only answer in short questions like yes, no, or maybe some other thing they've learned. It's like an animal, it's like a parrot maybe. It's like a really intelligent parrot that can shapeshift.
Yeah. Now, goatmen, on the other hand, depending on what area of the United States you live in, each state I've noticed has a different type of goatman that fits into it. So I don't know off the top of my head where this particular goatman is, but I know there are some parts of goatmen that are in line with fleshgates. Now, what makes them different is goatmen are able to shapeshift into the form of a person and do the whole fleshgate skinwalker thing like I mentioned earlier. But the difference between a fleshgate and a goatman is that the goatman can actually mimic and learn human behavior. So that makes the goatman more difficult to find.
It's a lot more intelligent.
Yeah. Like it's able to pick up more. It can learn language easily.
Like subtleties and stuff like that.
Yeah. Usually what the goat man will do is, let's say you have a group of people and one of them gets assimilated and the goat man takes the form of that person. The goat man will spend most of its time observing the people and just picking up on their behavior and like how they react to certain things, and it will try to mimic that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, finally, the rake. The rake, well, I think it's fair to mention the rake originally started off as just being a creepypasta, but most of the time when I read Skinwalker encounters, it sounds like more people are seeing either Wendigos or rakes. So, for reference, I'm not talking about a garden rake, I'm talking about a creature called the rake. The rake is a humanoid being that's almost, it has a couple of dog-like features. It's hairless, it has elongated arms and legs, pale skin, dark eyes, and creatures like this have been sighted all across the United States and some other parts of the world. As far as I know, the rake does not have the ability to shapeshift, and it doesn't really have any real intentions per se. It's more or less just kind of like a standard cryptid where it's just more animal-like, if anything. Yeah, it just kind of does its own thing and doesn't really know what it's doing half the time.
Like a rabid animal, basically, that doesn't really have any higher intelligence. Say like a skinwalker or an old goat man.
Yeah, kind of like that. Thrill of the hunt. Well, that kind of leads me over into the next thing I want.
Well, depends on the situation we're in. Basically, to kill a skinwalker, I am referring to the Navajo and Apache skinwalker, since the Apacheans view it as a neutral spirit, when the Navajo view it as an evil spirit. While most skinwalkers are created through young witch doctors and basically shamans seeking power, there have been a few cases where a shaman has willfully become a skinwalker to protect the tribe in like a certain area. So sometimes an older spirit of the skinwalker, like a good few hundred years old, might not attack humans but try and scare them away. While most skinwalkers are deadly and young ones are very brash, it's the older ones you've got to look out for, since they have patience and will outlast you. Since the younger ones want to hunt and kill because power, that's why they became it in the first place. But in the event that we are here to discuss how to kill them, first of all, big gun. If it can take down a moose, it can take down a lot of cryptids. So cutoff point would be 308 and above, while most people hunting big game use 45-70, since even a 45-70 was used to hunt a fucking elephant. We can all agree here that if you kill a fucking elephant, one of I think it's the biggest land mammal on Earth at this time, it can kill a spook. But the thing is, you need to white ashwood. You need to burn white ashwood. I don't know what spiritual significance it has due to the skinwalker, but I heard in most hunting threads and stories that, and other sources, that white bullets in whitewood ash tend to be a lot more effective due to the spiritual nature, because while skinwalkers are more physical than Wendigos, they are still spiritual animals. They are still here by a human intent. Another thing to use them you need is faith in a healthy faith, a god, or the spirits, or just any. But most of the time, it's good to know the law of the local tribe, you can go in there. You can basically believe in any religion, but you have to really believe in it and believe it will protect you. That's another thing that confuses a skinwalker and makes you more able to survive. Any questions? Oh, like skinwalkers and wendigos are just put together from rotten animals, right? What you would do is, for a wendigo and a skinwalker, I don't know about a goatman or rake, since I don't do enough research on it, but I can tell you confidently that a skinwalker and a wendigo are to be burnt with white wood. Burn it to become ashes, bury the ash with the body created. Then basically, I don't know the ritual for it, but if you surround the grave and the burial site in white wood ash, it should not come back, and that's how you permanently kill a skinwalker. But the thing is, you don't track these things. These things track you. There's no way you can stumble across one of these things. They will always come to you. And what they have very heightened senses. You can kill it, but this is a nice like it. Yo, bro, let me just go on and kill a skinwalker. Let me shoot in the dick with a fucking cannon. Come on, come see this dead pile of fucking rotten meat I found.
Yeah.
Oh, God. If we're doing this in Florida or California, that's gonna fucking stink in the weather. Like, the heat's just gonna make it look. Yeah, let's try on Amazon. We just go like a bottle of Spurt Febreze each, and we just start fucking squirting it. We get to the mountain. Meat. thing is, unless you already know the risks, never seek or take a skinwalker's name in vain, or it will fucking hunt you down if you are on its land. They are highly territorial, so if you do one-on-one to land, especially a younger, more aggressive one, without being prepared, unless you're lucky, you will fucking die a gruesome death. Oh, you would know, because human subconscious and like sixth sense is an amazing thing. If you feel like you're being watched, you're probably being fucking watched. And the smell, rusting copper and blood, and rotting. Well, that's how most people describe